What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for coming back to another video, and this is not just any video. This is my spoiler-free review of Avengers Endgame. That's it, guys. We made it. This movie's finally in theaters. Finally got to see it. To know that I don't have to avoid spoilers anymore for myself, and that I could just kind of know what happened is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So let's get into it. So yeah, guys, as I mentioned, this will have absolutely no spoilers in it. And for a movie like this, more so than most, I definitely am going to tiptoe around really what I say, and I definitely don't want to give anything away for anybody watching this. Anybody who knows me personally, and if you've been watching this channel for a little bit, you know that I don't like to spoil movies. I think I've only done one spoiler review, and I, warned about it in the title. I'm not a huge fan of giving spoilers to people, even if it's an older movie, because I love the idea of people watching a movie for the first time, completely blind, without any sort of spoilers or anything that could ruin the film for them, so you guys can trust that I will not say a single thing that is spoilery or that will hint at anything in this film for you. Right out of the gate, I'm gonna go ahead and say I absolutely love this film. This movie is beautiful from beginning to end, and is truly a love letter to the Marvel fans that have kept up with this franchise up to this point, and comic book fans as a whole. I think this movie is an absolute gift given to us by Marvel, that for all of those that stuck around, and truly is just a film that it was created for the fans, by the fans, and you can tell there was so much love and passion to make this chapter as epic and heart-filled as it could be. Of course, this movie plays off the events at the very end of Infinity War. There's a lot of dramatics that happen and a lot of serious stuff that happens. I won't really get into it, but I'm going to assume that if you are watching this review and you're excited for Endgame, that you've seen Infinity War and a good chunk of the Marvel films leading up to this. More so than Infinity War, this movie really demands and expects you to have seen every other Marvel movie up to this point, including Infinity War and just all of the solo films. Very, very much ties into all of them, and takes narratives and plays off narratives in all of them, and little moments between characters really won't make sense to a casual viewer who has not seen all of the films leading up to this. For some people that may be a negative, for me not so much. I really love that they really didn't downplay the dialogue. They didn't dumb it down, and they definitely just laid it out for anybody who's kept up with this. You're gonna understand. They don't make the audience feel like they're dumb trying to re-explain everything that they've done across all these movies. This movie 110% was an epic created for the fans who have kept up with this franchise up to this point. I really don't have very many negatives at all, guys, and if I'm going to give any, just to kind of give this review some balance, because it isn't a perfect film. There are some slow moments. This is a 3-hour film, guys. This is an absolutely long film. There's really no way to have told this story in a short, condensed way. I love that they went for it. I love that they gave us all the time that we needed to watch these characters and this narrative flesh out. Yeah, the one thing I could definitely say, there are a few moments where it is a little slow, specifically in the first act, but it feels deserved. It feels like something that the movie needed. It feels like after all these years, and with the kind of characters that we're getting, it's more of a slow burn. And I say slow burn because it's not boring slow, but it's just got moments where it's, the pacing's a little bit lower, and they definitely just want you to sit there and just take the time slowly with the characters as they build up to this epic finale that happens in this film. I never found myself bored, and honestly, I told my girlfriend when the film was over that I was actually quite surprised at how long the film was, because it didn't feel that long to me. But I figured I should mention that in here for specifically the people who have not seen Marvel films before, or have not really been catching up and are probably just going to go watch this because it's the new thing. I would recommend going and catching up on all the other films so you can really enjoy every moment of what this film has to offer, because I think there are a lot of moments with just via the dialogue or other characters appearing from previous films that they don't set up for, and they really do expect and hope that you've seen all of the other films leading up to this point. This movie does not stand alone. It does set its own narrative up that you're able to follow. It's definitely easy to follow if you've never watched a Marvel movie before, but just so many impactful moments with the characters and everything, the relationships between the characters, none of that is set up out in this film itself, and it really does expect and hope that you have seen every single Marvel film up to this point. So yeah, guys, it is a little slow at times, nothing crazy. As a Marvel fan, I loved it, and I think most people will love it. My theater seemed to be incredibly engaged the entire time, but I can see some people who have not been engaged with the Marvel films before that are maybe a little bit lost with some of the little moments and some of the character relationships, that they may find some of those scenes to be a little bit slower or maybe drag a little bit for them. Outside of that, there were a few things that I really wanted to see resolved and that I felt were a little bit brushed over over, some character storylines that feel like they're kind of brushed over, and also, you know, when you have a film with this many characters in it, sometimes there are characters that are going to get sidelined in the narrative, and there are characters that are there that appear for a short period of time, very briefly, but they really don't have too much of a screen presence, whether it's via dialogue or really even doing much at all. So that was a little bit disappointing for me. Nothing serious. I really still love this film. I love almost every single element and thing about this film. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of give out these negatives because I think these are the only ones that really stood out to me. Just the fact that some characters are rushed over and not really given the screen time that I was hoping they would get, that didn't really give them the full resolution on screen that I wanted. And then there's characters and storylines that are a little bit slower throughout the film, but nothing ever dramatic or drastic for me. I just feel like some people may find it to be a little bit more slow and more boring, depending on the kind of person you are when you watch a movie. Outside of that, guys, I have really no negatives. This film is just absolutely beautiful. Beautifully shot, just beautifully executed, amazingly acted. The special effects in this film are top-notch. Marvel is just continually killing it. The CGI on the motion capture characters were fantastic. I really was engaged 110% the entire time. I really have to give it up to Joe and Anthony Russo for being able to balance Infinity War and this film at the exact same time. They did an incredible job being able to bring it to screen and make them feel like two individual films that are incredibly unique. I kept thinking to myself, this is a very unique Marvel film with the themes that were happening throughout it, as well as a lot of the downtime that this film allows you to have with the characters. If I haven't sold it enough already, guys, I do highly suggest this film. I think this film is an amazing love letter, like I mentioned, to comic book fans, to the fans of Marvel who have kept up with these films up to this point. This film was made for us, guys. This film was made to make us smile, to make us feel resolution. There's beautiful fan service throughout the film. And when I say fan service, I don't mean it in the negative light that a lot of people think of fan service nowadays. It's not one of those situations where a character just shows up that you're like, ooh, I know who that is, or ooh, look at that Easter egg in the back, fan service. No, this film gives you as a fan what you want to see as a Marvel fan, the things that they've been building up to, the things you hope to see characters do. There are so many amazing moments and moments of resolution for these characters that you just can't help but be happy. Moments that you were dying and hoping to see. So many of them happen in this movie. There are so many really cool fan servicey moments that you could just feel, oh, this was made, that moment right there for the fans to feel excited, to feel the emotion. And that's the biggest thing I'll say about this movie too. It is incredibly emotional. It just got so much weight. The sense of stakes is so high, and you can really feel the passion and putting into the performance by every single actor. You can feel the great sense of wanting to make something special here, guys, and I think that they succeeded 110%. I think this movie has some of the best action ever put to screen, and not only in a Marvel cinematic film or a comic book movie in general, but I think overall, I think there's some of the coolest action I've ever seen in any single movie, especially in the comic book genre in this film. They just go for it, guys. There is just, it's hard to even say anything without spoiling it for you, and I promise I'm not going to. But this movie is just epic, guys. There's no way to talk about it any less. This is an epic film with plenty of adventure, heart, love, charm, and you can just see the passion put into this film for Marvel fans, for comic book fans, for people who have kept up with this franchise up to this point. I can see that there's probably going to be a couple character decisions and some things that they chose to do with some characters throughout this film that may not be the best for some people. Some people may not really connect with certain moments and the way that certain characters are brought to screen in this film. I personally didn't mind. It really just feels like with each and every movie, they're diving deeper and deeper into the comic books to really bring some of these crazy storylines and these crazy looks for characters and all these kinds of things into the movies that I never ever expected to see brought into a mainstream comic book film. You know, it's just really crazy to see certain characters appear in this film, or certain characters in specific ways appear in this film that just, as a comic book fan, I'm super grateful to have grown up as a comic book fan and been able to watch the just growth of comic book films in cinema. It's ridiculous. It's really crazy to see where we are now and how beautiful and epic these films can be with so much heart and such a well-written story. You know, this isn't just about the boom, boom, pow, pow. This isn't just about the explosions. This isn't just about the big third act, you know, set piece. This film is about the characters, and that's what I love so much about this movie. It was about the characters. They spent their time with the characters that they know you needed to spend time with in this film. There's huge decisions made by characters in this film. There's so many heartwarming moments as far as some heartbreaking moments. I think that it would be silly to think that you're walking into this movie and it's just going to be another happy-go-lucky, you know, hero save the day kind of movie. You know, there's so much that happens in this movie. There's so much push and pull, so much that the characters themselves have to go through, and you definitely feel a great sense of stakes and a great sense of really not knowing what's going to happen when you watch the movie, guys. So I'm going to leave it at that. I really have nothing else to say. I love this movie. I think it was so well done. I think that the heart and charm is there. This is a love letter, like I said, guys, a love letter to Marvel Cinematic Universe fans, a love letter to comic book movie fans all around the world. This is just insane. The last act of this film is just pure epic, exciting, beautiful comic book action and heart and love and charm and resolution to storylines that we've had for the last 11 years, guys. What a beautiful cinematic universe. I love the fact that this has become what it is. I remember going to see the first Iron Man in 2008 and coming out of that theater and that weekend just telling all of my friends who had not seen it yet that it was the best comic book movie that has ever been put to screen. And it is crazy to think all the way back to that time when I did, none of us really knew what it was going to lead up to. You had the stinger at the end with Samuel L. Jackson, with Robert Downey Jr. in that first Iron Man movie, and you feel like, wow, like they're really going to try to do this? And it's just insane to see and think of where this franchise has come and where it's gone. I'm super grateful to have been able to follow this storyline this entire time and to see the finale of the Infinity Saga. And what I love too about this film is that it is a finale of this saga, but there's so much to come. There are so many amazing things that you can see they're setting up for in the future. I'm super excited to see what Marvel does next. There's so many great resolved storylines in this movie while also just expanding and blossoming out more storylines and more character growth that's really going to take this next wave of Marvel films into a whole nother direction. Guys, go watch Avengers Endgame. I would highly recommend doing so if you've seen all of the other Marvel films up to this point. If you're just going to go because you're like, oh, I just want to see the new cool thing, I'll be honest, I think that you're going to be a little bit disengaged from some of the emotional beats, some of the small moments between characters, some of the things that are referenced, a lot of the emotional weight from previous films. It's all really tied in there, and we're hoping that you've seen these other films so that when you get to these moments, so when you get to this treat, this truly a gift, a treat given to the fans, you can really explore it and have a full understanding and a full sense of emotion tied to everything that's happening, guys. So that's going to be my review for Avengers Endgame, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this non-spoiler review. I hope it pushed you to go watch it if you weren't already excited to go watch it. And if you're already excited to go watch it and you haven't seen it yet, I hope you are super excited, guys. I don't think this movie's going to let you down. I promise you, I think you're going to have an incredible time. I think you're going to be super, super hooked to everything that's happening. And I think you can really expect just an amazing time that's going to make you feel like a kid again. And it's going to just really tap into your emotions and make you realize why and how much you love this franchise. Kudos to Kevin Feige, Marvel Studios, Anthony and Joe Russo, and the rest of the cast that put this movie together and made it into this epic, emotional, grand scale story that we can always remember from now on. And I'm super grateful to have seen it last night, and I can't wait to see all of the other reviews and hear all of your thoughts. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of Endgame if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, let me know your thoughts. What are you excited for? All that jazz. When are you seeing it? Just let me know everything, guys. Hit that like button down below and subscribe for more videos, guys. If this is your first video, come on, subscribe. There's more. You can go ahead and check out all the other videos on this channel. I'm shelling out content left and right. I think you can definitely find something on here that you like, especially in my vlogs or all the other movie reviews. Thank you, guys. At this point, I'm just rambling. I'm so excited about this movie. I want to see it again. Like down below, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.